Can you dig it? The digit.
I can dig that it's final cutdown day.
Digit 53.
Digit 53 is the big one we're looking at today.
It
Thanks
came.
for tuning back to the channel. Thanks for checking out Windy City Digits. On the air guitar, that's Vic. And I'm Carl.
And that's Coach.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and listen to us on Spotify. So Vic, today was a big day for the Bears. They cut down to 53 players.
About my big day.
So yes, nobody who ever gave his best regretted. You know that sign is actually posted at BearsFit.
Isn't that it?
Yeah.
That's just an awesome quote by George Ellis.
Yeah.
So yes, 53 cuts. I'm glad we're at this point because
we're down to 53.
I'm excited. I'm excited about Bears football for I think September 11th, right? That's their game.
Yeah.
And I wasn't completely disappointed necessarily. There was maybe a couple of surprises. So, what did you think?
There were a couple surprises by the Bears, I think. I'm a little surprised they cut Shaughnessy at tight end. I'm surprised.
Is that because you're Irish?
No, and I'm not related to him, in case anyone's wondering. I'm surprised they cut the third string quarterback. His name eludes me right now. So we're down to Peterman. Thank you.
Peterman from Seinfeld.
Right. I'm other than that, I think some of these moves that are there, I mean, we're carrying 9 offensive linemen right now. I think some of these moves are designed because they know they're going to pick up some players off. Like, I think we cut Peterman because I think we're going to pick up a quarterback off the waiver wire.
Okay.
And I think we carried only 2 tight ends because, as we'll go through in a second here, that there were some tight ends that were cut that potentially could come in and might be picked up by the Bears. So I don't know. What do you think?
So what I was I'm not a huge amount of surprises necessarily, other than I think Schofield to me was a surprise. Although he didn't play very well, it was a surprise based on them going out and getting him just recently. So I thought he would be somebody who would have stayed. That was one.
That was only a 1-year deal, right?
No, it wasn't anything big. And I think Reef I think was a guaranteed deal. Schofield not.
Yeah, I think the Reef deal was like guaranteed 1 year, and I think it's also incentive laden. Like he has to play so many snaps to get bonuses, start so many games and stuff like that. So,
but I would say that there was a little bit of disappointment in a way. I did like what I saw from Isaiah Coulter and the Sim Webster when they were playing. So, but then again, I think some of those guys could end up being on the practice squad.
Correct. So some of these guys could be cut. So for example, Peterman could be brought back for the practice squad. Some of these other guys could be brought back. Do you think with these 2 wide receiver cuts with Coulter and Webster, do you think that's more optimistic that guys like Velus Jones and some of these other like Pringle are closer and will be ready to go game 1?
Oh, well, Velus for sure. I don't know about Pringle. I haven't heard anything about him.
But like, do you think just because they held on to these, they didn't keep these guys?
Well, they still have Pettis. Pettis looked good. They still have Tajay Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we're missing, man? There's a couple Aquamanius
St. Brown for those watching at home.
Yes.
So,
otherwise known as Aquaman. Get it straight, buddy.
So other than those 2 guys, were there any other surprises for you?
Schofield. Were you surprised by Thomas Graham? I mean, he didn't play a lick. He's been hurt.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing in here. Let me. There were other guys. These other guys. So Peterman, Schofield, Sean Coleman. I'm trying to look at who else I would be surprised by. Maybe O'Shaughnessy a little bit.
Yeah, O'Shaughnessy, Mario Edwards a little bit. He was a productive player, I
I
thought.
just, yeah, not bad. So they must be just. They might. They. They may have some ideas of their backups that they can get off the waiver line, and then maybe that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about next.
Before we
Unless
go
you
to
want to,
that,
yeah,
the final thing I want to brought up, and I just saw this before we went on, was that all 11 players that the Bears drafted this year made the roster.
that I think it was 10 out of 11, and it's this is we're actually on the Bears site right now. They posted this on Twitter and several different places. So the Bears, let's see here. Yeah, 10 of the 11 members of Ryan Pohl's first draft, but the
Yeah.
exception was Doug Kramer.
Well, and he's now placed on injured reserve, so technically he's technically on the roster.
True. Very true, buddy.
So all 11 of them that they drafted actually stuck, which time will tell whether, that's an indictment or a positive thing for
Yeah.
Poles and his drafting and his scouts.
Yeah, right. Are they just keeping them because these are the guys they picked and they must see that through, or is it truly these are the best guys? Because if that is the case, I mean, from what we've already seen in the preseason, they seem to be hitting their mark and being able to place guys in the right position. I thought one of the most important parts of the cuts was Schofield being released because of how Tevin Jenkins has come around as a right guard, even though the last 2 days we've heard from I think Ian Rappaport again and somebody else that the Bears are still trying to shop him.
I,
Do you believe that?
I don't think so. I think it's just it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is with the national media. I
I don't
really
either,
don't.
man.
Like the national media, I saw a thing today where Dan Orlovsky was ripping the Bears again today,
Yep, I saw
and
that too.
saying like a fifth rounder doesn't deserve to start. Okay,
Yeah,
I
Darnell Mooney. Is he kidding me?
yeah, um, you know, and so as far as
Tom Brady was a
Tevin
fifth
Jenkins,
rounder.
yeah, and as far as Tevin Jenkins, look, I haven't seen anything since the whole little, I don't know, call it controversy if you want.
Hmm.
I haven't really seen anything from Tevin Jenkins to make it sound like he doesn't want to be here.
I agree. I mean, he looks like he's hustling. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's pretty mobile, right guard, man. He's getting in front of the play and knocking some players down, and I don't know. He looks pretty impressive for the most part for somebody who we were just about to try and dump or trade.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Right?
the Bears get down to 53. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is surprise
Well,
cuts by the Bears and around the NFL. Now, we've already kind of touched already by the surprise cuts by the Bears, but we took a quick look and we're going to show up on screen here like all of the cuts, surprise, like bigger names that were cut out there. And the first one off the bat, and you and I just talked about this briefly, was Josh Gordon.
yeah.
Um, off of the Chiefs. Now, while he's a big name, is he a type of guy you think you would take a flyer on?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't think they want someone with some of the problems he has on their team.
Well, not only that. I mean, look, if you can't stick with the Chiefs, and it doesn't, I don't think they have a whole lot of depth at wide receiver.
Hmm.
I think they brought him in because they traded away Tyreek Hill. I think they were hoping that he was going to come in and kind of take off some of those, get some of those catches, but it just doesn't look like it was working out.
I agree. And then we did. So we're going to scroll here. You're going to tell me if I need to scroll a little slower. Leatherwood, an offense tackle, maybe that's a flyer. He was a first round pick in the seventh. He was a first round 17th pick in the 2021. But I mean, supposedly they shopped him around, and all 32 teams said no. So
So,
I don't.
do you think that's more because they knew they were going to cut him and you could get him for cheaper?
Yeah, it could be, but that's a potential. I mean, if the Bears truly are trying to find that golden nugget like N'Keal Harry. I mean, they got him what for a seventh round pick. I mean, maybe they take a flyer on one of these guys and
Hmm.
see, maybe that's a possibility. The Leatherwood.
I think that one of the names on the screen right now, Kellen Mond. I think that's a guy that Bears. That might be the reason why they cut Peterman. That they may try to pick up Kellen Mond.
All right, I like that. I know we talked about Sony Michelle. We've got there's a what's up?
Yeah, we got too many running backs to pick up a guy like Sony Michelle or Marlon Mack. I don't know how much of an improvement. I most would rather ride with Travis Ebner and Khalil Herbert and Montgomery at this point.
Yeah, we don't need any running backs. Our running back team is solid, man.
Yep.
Maybe you're looking at. We talked about Treadwell, but he seems to be dropping the ball, very similar to your guy.
Daz Newsome.
Yeah, Daz Newsome. I thought
Too soon still.
still soon.
Too soon.
Sanu had a great career. I just he's not somebody that the Bears want. And
I think
we
one.
got yeah.
I think one of these guys is going to get picked up by the Bears. I just think one of these guys. It'd be ironic if they picked up Kevin White, but
Wouldn't it?
yeah, that would be super ironic if they picked up Kevin White.
I know. What about Preston Williams?
I don't know.
Look at the Dolphins. Trio here.
Yeah.
Waddle, Hill, Wilson Jr. I mean, that's a kind of impressive. So I don't see, when we're going through this list, do we really see anyone that right now where we don't, besides that other QB that you mentioned, I already forgot his name, man.
Kellen Mond.
Do you see anybody else here that?
No, look, these are just the bigger names that were released by some of the players that were out there.
Peterman.
If we don't look, even if we sign Peterman to the practice squad, I think someone's going to pick up Peterman. He played well enough in the preseason that I think someone's going to pick him up.
This Tyler Johnson, maybe.
Look, let's put it this way: nothing jumps out at me.
No,
with
me
these
either.
names, right? But you never know with Ryan Poles. Like he's obviously been paying attention, and I can't help but to think that, like I said earlier, some of these roster moves they made were based on the fact that they know they're going to pick up. Like again, I didn't think they were going to cut Peterman, but I think they're going to pick up another quarterback somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at maybe Freddie Swain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally, if I keep on going through here, I don't see anybody that the Bears. What about Austin Reeder? I mean, you've got Pat, and why would you need a center? You've got Patrick, and then you've also got Mustipher as a backup. But maybe Austin Reeder is a better backup than Mustipher. So, I mean, maybe those are the type of things that the Bears will be looking at.
Well, I actually read today that they're thinking about leaving Mustipher at center and moving Patrick back to guard.
All right. So I was listening to, I think it was ESPN today. They were saying there's no way that Mustipher is going to be starting. It would end up pushing somebody else out of that group. And who would it be?
The only way you push someone out is if you trade Tevin Jenkins.
True.
So, all right. So the last topic we're going to talk about today, right, is available players we think the Bears should be picking up. Now, maybe not specific names, but maybe more of a position that we think they still might be looking at, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're going to go in with two quarterbacks into the season. So I can't help but to think we're going to pick up a quarterback.
Yeah, they must have somebody that they were intrigued by. So maybe you're right about Mond. I really don't know, but I agree, especially with the injuries that could stack up for the Bears. I mean, last year we had to go to the third string quarterback. I don't see us um, getting by with two quarterbacks either.
No, and I think also carrying only two tight ends, I think we're going to need to pick up at least one more.
Well, the interesting about those two tight ends, we do actually have another tight end on our squad that was converted to
Fullback.
a fullback, not Blazing Game, but Jake
Tong,
Tongs or
yeah,
Tongus
Tongus.
Tonka truck. Did you ever have a Tonka truck?
I had many Tonka trucks.
Did you?
Yeah.
Tonka was awesome, man. Those cool guys. Yeah, good times.
I don't even know if they make those anymore, but
I don't think so. We're too old.
and we're carrying 9 offensive linemen. Um, I I don't think they're going to trade Tevin Jenkins, but I think if they do pick up another player, I think one of those offensive linemen are gone.
Okay. They did keep 7 receivers. We have 8 defensive linemen. You know what was cool seeing is a local high schooler make the team.
Jack
You know what I'm
Sanborn.
talking? Jack Sanborn from Lake Zurich. So
Yeah.
congratulations, local player.
Congratulations to Jack Sanborn. We're going to be looking forward to seeing him play. He's obviously going to be play special teams, but I wouldn't be surprised if every once in a while you're going to see him out there in a certain package or coverage package. It wouldn't be surprising to see him out there.
And we kept 11 defensive backs.
That's a lot.
That is. But you know what? I'm kind of excited. I like the receivers that they kept. And you know what? Honestly, Tajay Sharp looked pretty good, and so did Pettis.
Yeah.
And Aquaman had a good game. You know, I don't know if it was really with the first string. I can't remember. It's kind of hard to remember those things. And we really don't know. We don't know what Byron Pringle brings us yet.
Not yet. You know.
So we both see that they're going to try and pick up an offensive lineman, possibly, right?
Yeah, I think again, off the top of my head, I think the 3 spots they're going to look to try to improve are, or pick up possibly as a third quarterback, a third tight end, possibly a backup tackle on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Braxton Jones is solidified out there at tackle, right? But you know, it doesn't hurt to have extra depth at that position. 11 defensive backs seems a lot to me. You know, the national media says we probably need to pick up another receiver, but just based on the list that we saw out there, I don't see anything that jumps out at me.
Well, just from the cuts itself. I mean, there are still some free agents out there, like we've talked about Beckham.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anything, maybe that's something the Bears would do, but I don't see it. They would have done it already.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we got a solid team.
Yeah, and the weird thing, you know, this time around with just 3 preseason games, usually you go from the 4th preseason game, you're right into the season. This one, there's almost 2 weeks.
Right? Yeah.
You know, so that's
we're
part's a little, yeah.
Like a bit, man.
I was kind of looking forward to NFL football already this weekend, but then I realized that there's none.
I know. It is disappointing, actually.
We're gonna have to wait till a week from Thursday for the first game. So
we shall see. Draft. We got our fantasy draft to fill that void.
Yeah, good luck to everyone out there with their fantasy drafts that are coming up over the next week. Best of luck to all of you. Hope you guys do well in those drafts. So, but anyway, so we'd love to hear what you guys think about this as far as the Bears' final roster or supposedly 53-man roster they've cut down today. Leave some comments down below. Let us know what you think out on Twitter also. Thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't had a chance yet on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, get notified on future episodes. If you are listening to us on Spotify, please subscribe to us so that we get the automatic downloads when we put new episodes up. That was a lot to say in a very short period of time. Nice job, Vic. Peace.
Love.
And digits.